Welcome to the Alpha Gal Outdoorsman Podcast, where we talk all things Alpha Gal and all things outdoors. Everything from hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, canoeing, kayaking, jeeping, off-roading, even gardening. I'm your host, Robert Worley. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. This is part 2 of the Eastern Kentucky turkey hunt. Me and my buddy Roy on our way home. Before we get too far into this, one more announcement I forgot to make on part 1 episode is I got a phone call from a writer. Now, I can't go into a lot of detail because I got all the information written down at home. But this writer called me and was I'm not 100% sure what it's all about, putting some stuff together, and she wanted my story. She asked if she could record a phone conversation, and and she was going to ask me a bunch of questions, pretty much like we do when I interview people on Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. And I told her I got one better. I asked her if we could just put this off and record it a little later, and I would send her a Zoom, and I would have her as a guest on Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Yeah, we're going to take 75 North. Have her for a guest on Alpha Gal Outdoorsman, and then she could have all her info. So I'm really looking forward to this. I can't remember. She was kind of prepping stuff for some seminar or something. She said it was running a little late. I'll get the details put together during that episode. So next thing is we listened to the other episode while we was at turkey camp just to see if I had any major editing to do, and you can hear the road. So it is an experiment. I said that last episode, right, Roy?
You did.
So it's an experiment. We're about to get on I-75 North. We're heading home from turkey camp, and it was a great weekend. We are heading home a day early. I think they're looking for a little rain and stuff tomorrow, and my work's piling up, and you guys all met my buddy Roy last episode. He's back with me. So Roy, man, I had a good weekend. Did you?
I had an absolute astonishing weekend. It was amazing. Saw turkeys.
How many times did we climb these mountains down here?
Too many, my knees are telling me.
Yeah, we was up a lot every morning, every afternoon. I don't know, maybe we should have hunted the bottoms more.
Maybe. My niece said we should have hunted the bottoms every night because you burn them out during the day.
Yeah, right. So we had some success, and we have some not so much success. I don't know, where do we start? Do we start with the first morning?
Let's start right.
Do we save that for the good spot, huh?
Yeah.
So as I said in the first episode of part 1, one of the landowners that we hunt on the property, Arnie, I actually went to school with him. I think I mentioned all that before. He came down and met us, which is awesome, but he's not a turkey hunter. I think he's only turkey hunted one other time in his life, and I think that was I think my dad called for him, So Roy's actually learning how to call and getting pretty good. But we went out together first morning. I didn't take a gun. I was just calling. We went out, and we was really hoping to have turkeys gobbling on the roost. I mean, rarely have I hunted the farm, which is 100 acres, which Arnie owns, and not heard birds gobbling on the roof. They was super hush mouth all weekend, and Monday and Tuesday. It was tough. But so we get in, and we're like, where are we going? We said we just busted the ridge right off the bat in the morning. We get up, and we don't go very deep in. We just get up on the ridge. We just get up on the ridge, and we kind of set up. So I had Roy about 20 yards to my right, and he was up just a little bit. And I had Arnie 20 yards to my left, and he was even with me, parallel, and we knew everybody knew where everybody was at, so it was safe. But we started some light calling. We sat for a while, and Roy, you might as well. They come up on your side.
I did. The hens made their. I heard them down putting in the holler. And,
I forgot about that. Yeah, we heard them. Heard them pretty early.
They were real faint. You could hear some scratching. You actually came over after several minutes of calling and not hearing anything, and you came over and actually talked to me almost kind of like what we're talking now, and I told you I hear them over the ridge, and you said all right.
So I went and sat back down and resumed calling. Yeah.
And it was probably about 10, maybe 15 minutes. They were on us, and I mean, they came in like a thief in the night. They were quiet. They purred a little bit. They clucked a little bit, but they were on us.
How many hens were there?
There were four or five hens.
4 or 5, and I didn't know. I had no idea we even had a turkey around us until I looked, and you had your gun up in the shooting position.
Yeah. Then when they come up, the first hen was kind of shadowed, so couldn't really tell if it was a tom or not. So I kind of pulled up and was hoping and praying, and then all of her girlfriends joined her, and before we knew it, I was sitting there watching all of them just dust themselves and pluck around, and they were listening to you. Soft purr, and you were holding them still. That's sure.
Well, when I seen your gun up, that's kind of when I really lightened up my calling, and I still didn't see him for a long time. I mean, total, how long did you watch birds?
45 minutes.
Long time.
Yeah.
Arnie was 20 yards from me. He was 20 yards on the other side of me. He had no idea there was a bird even around. He couldn't see him. It was thick.
Yeah.
It just goes to tell you that them birds can be in on you and you not know it. I mean, they can be there, So when I kept looking, and finally I could see a couple, I seen their wings where they was dusting. They was getting into the underbrush, under the leaf litter, and it was pretty cool. But I could only see him for a brief minute or two. But at one point, man, they all started cackling. And at first, Arnie thought it was you calling.
Yeah, he thought we were double calling.
Yeah, he thought we was double calling. When there was there was a few hens up there. And there was only 20 yards in front of me, but I set back in some thicker stuff to be hidden good. And Arnie would have had to look through that to see him. And he couldn't see into it, But man, it was exciting. That part was super exciting.
I'd never been able to watch birds as long or as close as I had this weekend.
Well, the nice thing about me not being where you was at is they wasn't looking for you. They was looking for that call.
And they were interested.
They was looking for that call. When I seen your gun up, I started calling lighter. I called lighter. I just went to my mouth call. I cut my mouth good, and man, it was exciting. And at one point, when I lost him and I couldn't see him I stopped calling. I think I stopped calling for 10 or 15 minutes. But you were still watching them that whole time, wasn't you?
Well, I was watching them, and then they backed out a little bit, and next thing I know, I see a tom out of the corner of my eye. I was watching them intently, just amazed. And then out of the corner of my eye, I just saw a big old head, and he looked right down the aisle that I was looking down through, looked square up at me, and I thought, that's a tom.
He was going to thump you, son.
Yeah, the boys have been invited to the party, guys.
Yeah, now it's a party.
And you had that soft call, and it was driving all three of them crazy. They came in, but they came in so quiet. They weren't even making noise when they were all around. They were there.
So total, we would have had 7 birds minimum.
Oh yeah.
Within 20, 25 yards, 30 yards, something like that. And I couldn't see them. And Arnie had he still has no idea they're there at this point.
He still thinks we're double calling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they're not really they're not calling much. I mean, they did one time where there was like them hens before the toms come in. You know, they all did this little like location putt, you know, or a cluck. When they did it a few times, it lasted about 20 seconds, and then that was that. And
well, when I tell you, when that tom got up on that stump behind that tree, and he got up high enough where he was really, really wanting you to show yourself. He heard that soft purr, and he was driving him crazy. He wanted all the girls to join the party, and there was one missing.
Yeah, he could see all them.
All of them.
He was wanting, come on over here, sweet thing.
And the softer you got, the more intent he was, and not worrying about anything else but trying to locate where that was coming from.
Yeah.
And he never gave me a good enough shot, but he was perfect. And then
it was finally his demise because he couldn't help himself.
It was. Well, when the girls went back there and they turned the corner, they went to my left, which is
toward Arnie.
Toward Arnie, and they all left. And I thought, well, we've lost that.
That's
Game's
over. Right, they win.
And I sat there, and it was probably 10 minutes. The thunder came down.
Now, he did that right after I called, but I think I had been quiet for like 10 minutes, and then I just hit that cluck a few times, and he couldn't take it no more, and he let it gobble off. And then by this time, Arnie knows. They're right in front of him, 25 yards, but he still can't see him.
I cannot believe it. It sounded like they were giving him a lap dance. They were so close to him.
Yeah. At one point, I even whispered over to him, because he's only 20 yards. I'm like, Arnie, you see him? And he just eased his head around a little bit and gave me the little bit of a no. And I mean, we didn't talk like we're talking right now, but I mean, I whispered over at him where he could hear me. Then birds had to hear me, you know. He's like, no. And then I had been waiting. I'd waited like 10 minutes, no calling. I hit that mouth call again, and he couldn't take it no longer. He gobbled. Bam! And when he did, I looked at Arnie, and Arnie was getting his gun up. I'm like, all right, he can see him. But he couldn't see him yet. He just knew he was there. And it wasn't. Man, then the chaos. The chaos intel.
Would have been a great, great footage. Had my cameraman been on.
I fumbled with myself. I was like, what do? I hear a gobble. An instinct, I'm reaching for my gun. I don't have a gun. I didn't carry one in. And I'm like, what do I do? You know, and I should have grabbed that camera and fired that camera up, and I forgot. I am absolutely not a cameraman at filming us. I'm not good at it yet, that's for sure. But he gobbled, and I looked at Arnie, and I had a great shot of Arnie. I couldn't see the bird, but I could see him. I should have had the camera on him. Man, he fired, he shot. It was like, after that gobble, it might have been 20, 30 seconds, you think?
Hell yeah. Maybe.
That bird stuck his head. He jumped up on a stump, and he looked up trying to see where that hen was at. And when he did that, Arnie seen him. Bam! I heard the birds scatter. Chaos intel at that point. And Arnie's not a big turkey hunter, and there's a little bit of a cliff over to the left side. That bird started flipping. It might have been hours to get him.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I didn't know if Arnie knew to get up and go get him as soon as he shot him or not. So I jump up, and then finally I did realize, camera. I should have, so I snatched the GoPro. I jump up, I take off running, and the birds scatter. And then that's when I hollered toward you. I'm like, shoot him!
Yeah, at that part, the Butterball house party was over, son. And the cops had showed up, and everybody was getting out of the house.
It was the most chaotic fun. Oh my gosh! We laughed about it for 2 days. We're still laughing about it.
I watched that one run by me, come by me at about 100 mile an hour, and then that second one just a little bit slower. Yeah. He's like the fat guy on the track team. And that was his demise. I pulled down on him, and dropped him where
he was just starting to take flight, wasn't he?
He was getting ready to say goodbye to all of us.
That was awesome. And you laid the hammer to him, too.
I did. At full sprint, son. I felt good about myself.
Yeah, and I was thinking, shoot him!
Yeah, I'm not sure that's 100% what you said,
No,
but it was
it's
90%
close.
of
Right,
it.
yeah. I think we'll leave a little out.
Yeah, we'll leave that out.
Yeah, we was excited. We was definitely excited. Man, and then it was like, that was 7:37 in the morning.
7:37.
7:37 on the money, and you had been watching birds for 40 minutes at that point.
Almost since daybreak. I mean, literally.
Yeah, and then Arnie sitting over there had no idea there was even birds around. He just couldn't see them.
No.
You know. And I sat and watched. I watched both of you guys, because we hunted. I hunted by myself the rest of that day, and then Sunday we hunted together, and we set up the same way each time. And I sat and watched you guys, and I could not. Both of you guys sat so still. I can't do it, man. I got to move around a little bit. So I call, and then I rake a few leaves and flip my leg up and do this. Arnie sat there that whole morning, buddy, and a couple times I thought he was asleep.
Like a statue.
Like a statue. He was, man.
Yeah.
I thought he was asleep, you know. Yeah, but that was exciting.
The best part of that is watching the smile on Arnie's face. He smiled so hard and so big that his gums turned white. He'd squeezed the blood right out of his gums.
That's right, yeah.
I was so proud and happy for him. I couldn't stand it.
If you go to the Alpha Gal Outdoorsman Facebook page, I got some pretty good pictures carrying the birds out and, sitting on the tailgate. Man, what a exciting morning, man. That farm down there, I love it. It just holds so many birds. It is. Now, that being said, that was the end of that.
Yeah.
There was not just us. I mean, I was looking at all the, the Facebook pages for Eastern Kentucky and for Kentucky and all over. And people's been having a hard time with gobbling. They are just not talking this year. And we definitely encountered that.
Yeah,
we did, man, because we hit it hard for 2 more days and a half, and it was hard. But you took in birds, so you and Arnie took in birds, and you rolled back to the house and to clean them. And man, so I think I've talked about. I know I've talked about this a million times. We got a house rule at the cabin: spray your clothes down. Use permethrin. We lather up with tick spray around their skin, our wrist and our ankles and our waistline, and but that bird, when you clean that bird, it was covered with ticks, huh?
Yeah, when we started to field dress them and get them together, I pulled back the wings and they were covered. I mean, underneath, like right there at the breast where the wing meets the breast, they were covered. They were all attached. They were nymphs. They were I don't know,
seed ticks.
Yeah, and they were just covered with them. I literally scraped them off, with my knife and popped them as they went. And it was I was amazed. I actually asked Arnie, did he have any? His bird didn't have a one.
Really?
Not a one. My bird was covered both sides, left and right underneath the wing, same spot.
So somewhere, somehow, that bird's probably got into a nest or something.
Yeah, he was ate up with them.
Yeah.
So of course that makes it makes you hypersensitive to everything you do at that point. When you're cleaning, you don't want to flick one of them on you, or
Yeah. I'll tell you, I enjoyed going in without a gun and trying to film, which I kind of suck at, and just calling for you guys. Man, that was so much fun, And
you did an amazing job. Those birds, you held those birds there for, just forever. If they hadn't, we hadn't popped that shot off, I believe they'd have probably stayed there until they located where that hen was.
I can't believe they didn't come all the way to me. Now, there was quite a bit of thick underbrush. That's kind of where I chose. That's why I chose that spot to set. And there was quite a bit of thick underbrush that it was hard to see through. And I think that, and crawling, and for a turkey to go through that kind of stuff, is a little bit of a threat to them, because that's everything out there wants to eat a turkey, so.
Amen.
And I think that's why they just hung around there, hoping that I would come on over to them, and then they could move on with their day. They would have had 3 toms and 4 or 5 hens, and they'd been looking good.
Well, they sure.
We busted up the party.
They walked the Rio Grande. That ridge they came up, son, it was straight up down. I couldn't believe it.
Because we went down it.
Yeah.
Well, your bird almost went to the bottom. We might as well go down this way.
He was still running, hadn't known he was dead.
Yeah, that's right.
He was still getting it.
Yeah. So that afternoon, I hunted by myself. So we was done. That was 7:30, right? We load up. We go back to camp. I jump in another truck. I go to a different farm, and I hunted till about, I had a meeting at 1. I hunted till about noon, 12:15, and not a gobble, not nothing. And I sat the most of the time. I walked up, went and got in on this ridge and sat down and just called and sat. And I'd call a little while, and I don't call consecutive. I'll run a sequence, maybe with a box call, mouth call, and a slate call, doing a couple different things for about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 max. And then I'll stop. And sometimes I only stop for 3 or 4 minutes, but then other times I'll stop for 15 or 20 minutes and just sit and watch and listen. And I had nothing. So I got back and I went back out that late afternoon, but it started raining. So I hunted till I got back out about 2:30, and there's a nice greenway in this bottom on our second farm, man. And there's it looks like a great place for a strut zone. I can't say I've ever seen a bird there, but it just looks too birdy to not be. So I went in and I set up and I did the same thing. I just running some call sequences over and over and take a little break. It started raining. I think it was about 5:30 or 6. I got up under a pine tree and tried sticking her out, but I was just going to get wet, and I headed on in. I don't mind hunting in the rain, but I don't want to hunt in a downpour where I get soaked, and we had a pretty good one. So, but then Sunday, we went back to the farm. Now, think about Sunday morning. Did we go in Sunday morning over there? Or?
We went Sunday morning over to the new place.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Man, I tell you what, that's another reason why I love you. You've heard me say it. If you heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times on the podcast and on the YouTube. I love hunting Eastern Kentucky because there's just so much more room than what I'm used to up at home. But Arnie's been down here for so many years, he knows everybody. So he put a phone call in to the farm across the street, which is 148 acres, and it's surrounded by other big farms. And we went in first thing in the morning and set some decoys up on a bank field edge where we had seen turkeys in before. And I think we called till what, 10:30?
10:30,
yeah. And then we got up and we literally almost walked that 140 acres. We would walk 40, 50 yards and stop and call a few times. We did everything from hoot out a crow to purse clucks and cutting, everything in between, trying to find
one gobbler.
Nothing, man. And that evening we went back to the farm where we know they roost, or a general area where that we know they roost. And the problem that we ran into is Arnie's got a house on the farm, and I don't mind kids being kids. I'm not complaining about the kids at all, because I think it's awesome that they was in the woods playing instead of in the house on a computer. But we headed back to the farm, and like I said, Arnie's got a house on the farm. And when we pulled in past the house back to where we was going, and one of the tenants come out and she said, "I didn't know you guys was coming back." And we're like, "Yeah, we're going to be here for a couple days." And my kids are up in there, and they're like, "Oh," so. And I'm like, they're not going to hurt nothing. I mean, because we was going in, it was early. What time was it?
Oh, it was 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
And we're going to go in there and hunt till dark. I'm like, they're not hurting nothing. She said, I sent them a text. When they get on top or something like that, it'll ring and they'll get it. And these kids, how old was they?
They were 13, 14.
That was the oldest.
Yeah.
Probably 10 and 13 too.
All the way down to probably 10 years old, 9 years old.
Yeah. So, Only thing I told her is like, I hope you got bug spray. I hope you got tick spray on them kids. And she said she did.
Yeah.
She said she did. So we went in, and I went up toward the pond to look for them because that's where they were supposed to be. But while you guys were standing waiting on me, they come out, right?
They did. Them and the dogs.
They said, hey, them and the dogs. They said, hey, your mom wants you up at the house. And so who knows how long they had been running around back here, running birds out. And we are not mad about it at all. It was awesome to see them kids in the woods. Do not take this wrong at all. I think it was awesome. But we climbed up on the ridge where we know turkeys roost in the area, and we set up. And we probably got set down about 3:30, and we literally sat till dark and never moved and called and waited and watched and then called a little more.
One hen.
At what time? That was like 7?
Yeah, it was around 6:45, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
She came in all by herself.
On your side again. And this time, Arnie was sitting behind me about 20 feet, looking over a ridge to my back. I'm looking up the ridge, and then you're to my right he was about 25 yards over.
Yeah.
You was sitting on another ridge coming up. So we had everything covered, and I did have a shotgun with me that evening. But she come up the ridge, and
I seen her head, and I pulled the gun up, and then realized
another hen. Yeah, and she come within. She was about 20 yards straight out in front of me.
Yeah.
And
either one of us, if it had been the right, gender.
Exactly. We both could have killed her for sure. She come over scratching, and she clucked a few times like, hey, I'm over here, and then turned right around. This whole sequence lasted about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she turned around and went right back the way she came. And I think she was just coming up in there looking for that other hen. She, seeing who I was and what I had going on and that sort of stuff. But that was exciting. I mean, always you got a hen in, it's the perfect decoy.
I love watching them.
Yeah, right. And Arnie, he couldn't see her because he had his back, but he did hear her. And he was like, man, it sounded like she was right in your lap. I'm like, yeah, she was right there 20 yards,
Oh, yeah.
And when I had her in that close, I didn't call. Oh, no, wait, when she was clucking up there, I was trying to imitate her.
Yeah.
And that was pretty neat. That was a pretty neat little sequence right there.
She got excited. She was a little more verbal when you were answering her. It was like you guys were talking.
Yeah, she would cluck and purr, cluck and purr, and it was like that's pretty neat. And like I said, the whole sequence lasted maybe about 15 minutes. And she was out. I just knew, man, that them birds was going to be sliding in there. But the way that holler is, the kids went back to the house because they knew that we was hunting up in there. But the way that holler is, it's like a big horseshoe. They was playing at the house, and it sounded like it was in your lap, didn't it?
Yeah, they were, just funnels.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what kept the birds from not coming. I mean, I don't know that they roost in the same place every night or, close to, I know roost locations at home. You'll find them there, and sometimes you won't find them there. So
we did have a couple gobbles at the end of the night. We didn't have enough time to.
It was just all the way across on the wrong side of the farm, And when you're up on one ridge, you can hear the other ridge. But the fact that you got to get there, it could be 30 minutes
or longer. If you're toting me around.
Yeah, it's a long way over there, so you can't just drop and go. That makes it a little tough. So. All in all, it was awesome because we did have a double opening morning, but we never had a bird after that. We never. And then, like I said, all the forums on Facebook, it sounds like, I will tell you this. I seen this one young man on two different. One is like, I won't even say the Facebook names because I'm not trying to bash anybody, but. This people are talking about, man, you hear any gobbles? No gobbles anywhere. And they're like, man, they're just quiet. And a few people are killing some birds. A few people are, and a few birds are gobbling. Like the one we killed, we heard one gobble. This guy's on there, and he's like, you want me to come and call you a bird in? I'm like, man, would you? I was thinking, would you?
Yeah.
Please? Yeah.
You'd be able to film for sure then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, come on over, Bubba. You know, I seen him on 2 different Facebook pages. Like, yeah, he's the man. He must have had him a good luck morning like we did the first morning.
Yeah.
And yeah. But, so anything Alpha Gal that you noticed this weekend? We had a good weekend.
We did have a good weekend.
Had a good weekend.
We had a great weekend considering we didn't find any ticks on us.
Right.
So it tells you preparation is everything. You know, like you said, we have standing orders when we go in.
Yep.
You know, douse your clothes, let them dry overnight, and reapply best you can. So
yeah.
Kudos to you for that regiment. I know you're pretty strict about it, and you make sure you're diligent about it.
Yeah, we literally rolled around in the leaves, and we sat on the ground. None of us, we had, me and you had a turkey vest with a cushion, but
Yeah.
Arnie just sat on the ground.
Yeah,
and for days, we just rolled around in the leaf litter, and knock on wood, nobody got a tick on them. So that permethrin works. Do not think it don't work. And I use the Repel tick. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Repel tick?
Yeah, Deep Woods. Yeah, in the Deep Woods.
It says tick on it. Whatever it says. Yeah. It's kind of a red can. It says tick on it. And, I sprayed a little on my hand, rub my hands together, do my ears and around the back of my neck, spray the inside of my hat, do my wrist and up to about my elbows, pull my pants up, my socks down, and get my shins and calves, and then around my waistline, because I don't tuck my shirt in. I get if I tuck it in, it'd be untucked after halfway the first ridge. So
I will say that thinking that you're not going to get a tick on you, or it doesn't ever happen. I think that turkey explained it all. They're there.
They're there.
They're there in abundance. They're there,
son,
small, big, and little. I mean,
I'm telling you right now, if you'd have went out there without any of that repellent on, son, you would have been covered in ticks. I guarantee you.
Those seed ticks that were on that turkey were so hard to see. If it hadn't been for the white underlayment of those feathers,
you never know they's there.
It looked like dirt.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have paid no attention to them. So precaution.
And you scraped them off outside, right?
Did.
I hope
Absolutely.
you killed all them
and
son of
smashed
bitches.
every one of them.
Atta boy. Kill them son of a guns.
Yeah,
yes.
It was a holocaust for ticks on that day.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So, and we gave the shout out to Skybridge and Miguel's on the way down because we ate at both. Friday night, first night down, we went over to Skybridge. I got the veggie burger, got the classic veggie burger. It was out of sight. And then you and I went to Miguel's for lunch yesterday.
Arnie met us there.
That's right. He met us there before he went home. He had to go home yesterday. So, you got a son of a gun.
All meat.
Meat lovers. Yeah, but his come out, so
I went to commence to eat.
Yeah. We got large pizzas because we had lunch yesterday, and then both of us took our leftovers back to the house, stuck them in the fridge, and that was our dinner last night, too. But he got the meat lovers, and I got the allergy pizza. Green peppers, green olives, mushrooms.
You got the I want to live forever pizza.
I want to live forever pizza. And they brought yours out on the thing because you're eating here, but the allergy pizza come out in a box that said allergy across the top. Yeah. So a double shout out, to Miguel's for that one. But I want to give be more like Angelo segment a shout out right here.
Yeah.
So my wife is crazy about, she likes Jersey Mike's. She sure does. And Roy and I, we decided we'd stop at Jersey Mike's on the way home. And I eat there with my wife. I eat there. I'll stop in. A lot of times I'll get the turkey sub and stuff. But today for lunch, I walk in, there's nobody there. So I don't like putting pressure on them a lot when they're busy, but nobody's there. So it's grill time for me, right? I order the chicken Philly. And I said, I have alpha-gal syndrome. And she looked at me kind of funny. And then I repeated, I said, it's the red meat allergy. And she said, oh, I got you. And I stood there and watched her clean that grill. Because, you got to make sure it's cleaned right? So I watched her clean that grill. She took her scraper, she heated it up, throwed some oil to it, scraped. She scraped it for a while. And then she took this rag, and it was, I don't know what kind of cleaner she had on it, okay? I guess I probably should have known, but I didn't. Took that rag and throwed it on there, and it was wet, and it had some cleaner, and she took the scraper and put on top of that dude, and she,
Scrubbed it.
she just, I felt like the Karate Kid over there, wax on, wax off. She cleaned that sucker, buddy. And, yeah, so I'm going to give the Be More Like Angelo shout out to Jersey Mike's in Winchester, Kentucky. Did a great job. And I've ate there before. That's how I know it was safe for me to go there, because I have ate there before. And I guess they deserve that shout out for sure. So, I don't know what else you got there, Roy boy. I tell you, Hemlock Hill.
Hemlock Hill.
Acorn Ridge. So, here again, a word from our sponsors. If you go to Facebook and you look up Hemlock Hill and Acorn Ridge at Red River Gorge, if you like what you see and you want a weekend getaway at a cabin at Natural Bridge State Park or Red River Gorge, both of these cabins are with minutes away. You can send an email to alphagaloutdoorsman@gmail.com, and you can get 10% off of your entire stay at either one of those cabins. So go to the Facebook page. Again, it's Hemlock Hill and Acorn Ridge at Red River Gorge. Take a look at them, and then you can send that email to alphagaloutdoorsman@gmail.com, and we will send you the code and the phone number to call and get you 10% off your weekend stay. How do you like Hemlock?
Man, I tell you, it has become a home away from home. I have my room down in the basement. I go down there, and it's the amenities of home. The hot tub, the bathrooms are great and clean, and the beds are amazingly comfortable, and a couch for living space, or you can join the party upstairs.
That's right. Yeah. I jumped in the hot tub that first night, Saturday night, and did a tick check. Got to climb the hot tub and did a good tick check that night. And that hot tub's hard to beat, buddy, after you've been hiking the eastern Kentucky mountains down here for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
My knees were,
Screaming.
Thanking cheeseburgers at
for the love of cheeseburgers.
For the love of cheeseburgers. Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday and Monday, I got into them, and it was nice. I got up and I felt renewed, and I was ready for a Weedle climb on each morning.
Each morning,
yeah.
There's so much room. We talked about that 140 acres that we hunted down here, and there's just so much room, man. But I do look out across through there. I mean, we crossed I don't know if you call it like an open field, but it was not complete timber. It had grass knee high, and it had bars. You could get through it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking out through there, and I'm thinking ticks. Ticks. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
But I'm getting more and more confident. When I first started using permethrin, my confidence level wasn't there in it. I mean, I wish I'd have known. I wish I'd have done all this before Alpha Gal, but hindsight's 20/20. And but my confidence level in dosing down with permethrin now is I don't give it second thoughts.
The first couple of years, I was really not sold on it. But after especially a weekend like this weekend where we had 80-degree weather, and,
right,
and just witnessing the wildlife, what it had, I thought, man, we're going through the same. We're sitting there. We're just waiting.
Right.
So I can say, like I said, your regiment is hands down, bar none, probably saved me from a world of.
Well, Roy, so let's chat on that for a minute. So you had a major surgery. How many years ago now?
In 2002, I had a gastric bypass, which they don't do often anymore. It was it's kind of the most extreme. I was a big boy. I was 537 pounds. So I did what they call a BPD, which is a biliopancreatic duodenal switch.
Can you say that again?
Trust me, it took me about 9 years to say it.
Yeah.
BPD, they kind of bypass your, kind of tearing some tubes around your stomach and kind of tin things up. So now what I eat passes through me immensely quick. So I process food
at a much higher rate.
At a much higher rate. So my protein levels are above normal.
You are required to eat
between 80 and 90 grams of protein a day.
So put that in perspective. What is a normal person?
So an 8-ounce steak, you're talking, 10 grams, maybe 8 to 10 grams of protein, according to what cut of steak.
All right, and so that would be the big meal for somebody.
Absolutely.
For a day.
Now you also have to remember with this surgery, they cut your stomach in half, and then they sew it, staple it, and they do a bunch of stuff. So your stomach's much smaller. So a steak that's 10 ounces is a big boy.
Right. And
beef takes a long time to digest.
Right.
Chicken, roughly that same size, about 8 grams of protein.
And it probably takes less time to digest.
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know when I had it, I'm a huge vegetable eater. I grew up busting beans with Granny on the porch and picking potatoes and beets and you just everything that had to do with hillbilly country living is what I did, and I loved them. I mean,
But you had to switch your diet.
I did. I literally, when I first got this, consumed no vegetables at all because I was so weak and my iron levels were so low that I struggled.
All you ate was meat.
Just meat. I mean, jerkies and just
steak, burgers,
and with this surgery, you can't eat and drink at the same time because you're filling up space with unnecessary things.
Fluids. That makes sense. Yeah.
So
you got to get all the protein in you can get.
Now, granted, I did eat multiple times a day. And looking at it, if you just watched me eat all day, you would think, I don't know how this guy doesn't weigh 600 pounds. But the problem is it's such a fast process. Your stomach is processing things so fast. So,
well, I've noticed when we come down for deer camp and turkey camp, we come down hunting, that you load up on lunch meats.
I do.
You load up on lunch meats, and you're one that almost eats every morning when we go. Like this last couple of days, we haven't ate breakfast much because we've been on the move quick. But I noticed deer camp, you're up. It gets light so much later.
Yeah.
But you and on top of that, like deer season, I noticed you're packing a couple sandwiches, and I've watched you make a sandwich. It's 2 pieces of bread and piles of meat.
Yeah. And
so
it's lunch meat isn't the best, but it's meat nonetheless.
Right.
I try to. I love bologna. I'm a hillbilly. I love bologna. In all forms. Pickled.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. But I try to eat butter. I try to eat ham. My wife has been very gracious. She'll bake a ham, and I'll make ham sandwiches with ham, stuff like that. But it's a struggle. You get tired of eating meat. You get tired of...
So in relating to, you got to have 80 to 90 grams of protein a day. Now, if you was to get alpha-gal syndrome and you couldn't eat beef, pork, or none of them things, it's going to limit you to, for a regular grocery store, chicken and turkey.
Yeah.
And chicken and turkey is good proteins, but they don't carry the amount of protein that beef does, or pork, correct?
Oh, correct.
And then if you wanted to do better than that, if you wanted to one-up it, you could always call one of these farms that raises emu, ostrich, and duck, and you could buy your meat, but that is incredibly expensive.
Right.
I order from one of them, and I order, like smoked duck breast and duck bacon, emu and ostrich steaks, and emu grind or ostrich grind for burgers and stuff like that. And I can't do it all the time because, you get a shipment in, it's $150, and I sparingly use it,
Yeah. And we talked about it when you got it. You can only eat so much chicken before you are just...
I hate chicken. That's my wife.
And my wife loves chicken. She's very selective. She's very picky. She doesn't eat fish. She doesn't eat much wild game. So, in perspective, it would be tragic.
Yeah, no, right.
And it would be a complete somebody like yourself that does eat, wild game a lot in a select variety, even before you got Alpha Gal.
Yeah.
And your wife is great. She's adventurous with trying things that
Oh yeah, she'll eat it. Yeah.
So my life would have it would impact my life in such a way that it would.
Yeah, because your wife don't eat that, does
No.
she? She won't eat wild game.
No, she
Yeah.
no fish, no duck, no goose, no.
Right, right.
I threw an emu at her. She might try to make it a pet, but she ain't eating it.
Yeah. Now I will say this: Nikki will eat it, but she doesn't. If we were going to make a meatloaf, she wants a meatloaf, But now we have made meatloaf out of ostrich grind, and it's good, and she'll eat it. But I know she's a trooper, man. But I know she'd prefer to have. Who wouldn't want a regular old meatloaf? You don't let your meatloaf roll.
Yeah, and listening to the last few podcasts with people that have struggled to get medical people to diagnose this right. Somebody such as myself that has gone through a gastric bypass. We would fit into other categories that they might not even look at Alpha Gal.
I wonder if it's happened out there. If there's anybody out there that has gotten Alpha Gal that's had gastric bypass surgery, I would love to talk to you. Shoot me an email at alphagaloutdoorsman@gmail.com, because I would love to talk to you and see just what they got to do, There's got to be somebody.
And I'll be honest with you, several years ago, I dropped 80 pounds in literally 4 months. Went to all the ologists that you can do, oncologists, hematologists, proctologists. I mean, I hit them all. They could not explain it. They tested me for Crohn's. They tested me for everything.
I remember that, yeah.
They went up and down, all ends of me trying to figure out what it was.
Every orifice.
Every orifice was, nothing was safe.
Yeah.
You've
been violated.
I just begged them not to go down the same hole with the same equipment that they went in the other holes with. But that happens with people with gastric bypass. Sometimes your body it plateaus for a long time, and then all of a sudden, bang, something changes in your body, and you'll go through a pretty good weight loss. And of course, everybody wants to throw it down the cancer alleyway.
Yeah, that was kind of scary. I remember that.
And but
did they ever figure it out?
Never. My body just was like, all right, I'm done goofing around. I gained weight back. But my iron levels went crazy, and I will say that I take my blood work very seriously. I get all my blood work done religiously. But somebody that medically Alpha Gal, it's such a rare find up at our house medically.
Yeah, right.
I watched you struggle, and I thought, my God, if I found something like that, they would swear I was dying of cancer.
Right. Immediately. And
not ever be able to give me a chance to recover the way that you were able to recover by self-diagnosing.
Right. Well, surely there's somebody out there. So I'm going to try to find somebody that, if you know somebody that's got Alpha Gal, that's got any kind of surgery, it don't have to be that. I'd like to hear from them. So, Roy, we had a good weekend, man.
We did, man.
It was hard leaving this morning, but how the real world's calling.
It is, and I will say that the turkey hunt was amazing.
Schnitzel.
The schnitzel was amazing.
We got back that night. I almost forgot. The best part, man.
I actually ate the last piece of schnitzel. I stole it this morning when I threw out the old taters.
Oh, it was in the refrigerator, huh?
Yeah, I had that one. I didn't tell nobody until it was all gone.
Yeah.
And it was as good cold as it was hot.
So we the night we killed them birds, we come back, and I take them breasts and we cut them into pieces, probably about the size of a hamburger bun if you wanted to put it on a burger or something like that. Took that dude and took a real good coffee mug that can take a beating, laid it out on a coffee board, and I beat that turkey breast as thin as I could get it. And then I just used some Andy's fish batter, or, breading, and I think that's what it was. You got to, and check it. If you got Alpha Gal, check it, because you got to know your allergy. So I'm safe with it, but you need to check it. So just rolled it in there and then cooked it in some vegetable oil. And I got a little bit of a video, I think, of that.
Some stir fry.
I'll probably put that on. Yep. Had some baked potatoes and we had red, yellow, and green peppers and onions all diced up, and oh man.
Can we give a shout out to the turkey legs? Because there's a lot of people that are throwing them out.
Let me tell you, yes, and don't do that. We took all 4 of them turkey legs.
First time for all of us.
Throwed them in, just cleaned them up. Roy spent an hour cleaning them turkey legs up, you know. And the next morning when we left to go hunting, we threw them in the crock pot. And did you notice how them little bitty bones in there kind of floated to the top?
Yes. Yeah.
They almost come out themselves.
They were almost like why birds fly, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the hollow bones.
We cooked that sucker all day long. We come rolling in. It was about 5 o'clock. No, it was afternoon.
It was
afternoonish. Yeah. Come in about 3 o'clock to grab some lunch before we headed back out. And holy wow, man! We took a few samples and then we put it down on low. And then we come back in that evening and you literally grabbed the bone, pulled the bone out, and threw it away. Now, them wild turkey drumsticks have, they got a lot of little bitty bones and sinew and all that stuff in it, and every bit of it pulled right out.
Yeah.
We took a Walmart trash bag thing and set it on the stove right beside it and just picked them out. It took about 5 minutes.
Some of the most amazing meat that never would have guessed it.
A lot of people throw them away because of that. They're just too hard. But don't throw them away. Throw them in the crock pot.
Man.
They are getting
pressure cook them, crock pot cook them, but you will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed. And it's kind of it's definitely a darker meat than the breast. But man, it's just packed so full of flavor. And we put one. I found and you know how it is getting chicken broth with Alpha Gal. You gotta scan the labels and make sure that it has nothing in there. There's only certain kinds, but get you a safe chicken broth and dump it in there on top of them. You will not be disappointed. They was get down good. We ate wild turkey for 2 days, and man, it hurt my feelings. It was so good. Yeah. Well, Roy, what is next in? I guess next is going to be Kentucky rifle season.
Yeah, unless we can get some fishing or some
Yep, right.
bird hunting in.
We got Ohio wild turkey season comes in this weekend, so maybe we can sneak out. You look at your work schedule, I'll look at mine. Maybe we can sneak out up home and get a day in. So I'm going to post these pictures on the Alpha Outdoorsman Facebook page. A shout out to Eddie Palmer, him and Bailey finally filled that one of their South Georgia tags down there using his wing-bone turkey call. So shout out to him. I guess that's about it. You got any final words?
Man, love you, Kentucky, and I'm gonna miss you till I get back.
That's right, Eastern Kentucky. So thanks again for listening to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. I gotta find out how to shut this thing off now. This might take me going down the road. Oh, here we go. I'm going to have to edit this in. Thanks again for listening to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Tuning in to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Make sure to hit that follow button. And until we meet again, wear your tick repellent.